Welcome to Mr. Moon has left the building with me and Addy. How are you, Ad? Good weekend?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, I've had a great weekend. I've been in Cyprus, actually, topping up my tan.
Yes, it looks like you've got a lovely tan there, mate.
I've got a lovely tan, mate. Thank you. A good friend's wedding. Had a really nice time. Nice to be away. I hate missing watching the West Ham games, to be honest. But I did catch most. Yeah. Well, I like to analyse. It's not a lot to miss at the minute, but I did manage to catch most of the second half. So
we didn't miss much. You didn't miss many shots on goal, that's for sure, because we had none from open play. It's funny. I've come under attack from a couple of our subscribers, and I like that, to be honest with you. So I actually love it. If you disagree with mine or Addy's views or Gary's, let us know. I love it, actually. I think it's great. We should all... There is no right answer to the way we play, the way we do things, anything. I love it when you guys all come out and say that we're wrong. And quite a few have attacked me because I've done a negative video on after the Arsenal game. But I didn't mean it to be negative. It was just what I was watching. And I think it all stems... Look, we still have... Really, to be honest with you, we shouldn't even be having this Moyes debate anymore. It's sad that we still are. And people like me and you do bring it up as well. So we are to blame for it. So I completely agree with that. I think Nuno set up our team exactly how I would have set us up. So I agree with what he did. Maybe the only change you could have made was Fullkrug for Wilson or Marshall. Maybe that was it. And maybe it was Magassa or Potts. That was...
and you would have gone with Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Actually, sorry, I forgot that Wan-Bissaka came in. Personally, maybe not. Wasn't a bad decision either way.
I could understand it. He's looking at set pieces. Like I said to you before, Walker Peters has done really well for us, but he's really small, and so at set pieces and things like that, he's not going to be the best type of defender to defend those balls into the box and stuff. So Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a bigger lad,
and Arsenal with their corners, maybe that was the decision on that.
You can understand it.
And listen, Aaron Wan-Bissaka was our player of the season last year, so it's not brought in an unknown.
No.
I think a lot of West Ham fans were quite happy. I think me and you are probably two of the West Ham fans that think Carl Walker-Peters has done an amazing job since he's been here, actually. And actually, he's been our best signing in the summer.
Yeah. He's done
in actual fact, I'm going to say he is our best signing that I can see out of all the players that have played so far. Harsh on Walker-Peters because I don't think he'd done anything wrong in the Everton game. But Wan-Bissaka. So ultimately, I agreed with what Nuno does. I think the problem is we're back to that discussion. A lot of West Ham fans, when we get something shiny and new, and I've watched Claret and Blues, he's come under the same sort of hit from people saying that he's negative, and I saw him explain it last night. And if you haven't watched it, you're basically going to hear it regurgitated a little bit through me because I completely agreed with what he said. Nuno wasn't his first choice of a manager because he felt that we would be back in the stage where we will be in a couple of years. And I say that because our fan base absolutely detested the way David Moyes played football. And the fan base, to prove themselves right, will then say, no, we detested the results under Moyes, the 3-0, 5-0, 4, which I completely agree with. We just went to Arsenal and people are saying, well, if it was Potter, we would have lost 4-0 or 5-0, which isn't quite true because Potter won there last year. So actually, on last year, we're points off of what we had from Potter last year, which you can't evaluate a manager like that. Do I think we look more solid? Yes. But if I remember rightly, Potter came in and done exactly the same after Lopetegui. And basically what they do is they play 8 men behind the ball, get a little bit of confidence they're not conceding 5 and 6 goals each week, and then maybe go from there, which I think that's what he's probably doing. But we're playing counter-attacking football, and we don't seem to have the players that can do it. And I think that is a problem with the mishmash of players that we have at the manager's disposal. I don't think, and this is where I've said, and I think you said, I like Nuno. I like him as the West Ham manager. I like what he says. I like how he acts. I like how he wears the tracksuit. I like everything he's done so far. I like the team he picks. But I don't think we should get blindsided that this guy is going to play a brand of football that we love or aspire that we want.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to. He's not going to. And I think the question is it going to be? Is he just going to be successful? That's the key. Because the fans weren't moaning about Moyes' football when we were doing really well. Fans were moaning about the way we were playing. Obviously, when the results started going bad, was getting hammered every now and again. That's when it turned, because the football's terrible and the results are even worse. So the fans have got the ump. But if he's successful, I don't think you're going to have any problems from the fans.
Now, what I will say, Moyes, when he played that brand of football, the Lingard era, I call it, what he had was pace through the whole front line. With Lingard, with Antonio, with Bowen, so we could play that way of football. We do not have that with Fullkrug. He's so slow. And I do feel sorry for the manager here, because we also had a defence then that could defend. Who would have been our defenders then? Bonner, Zuma, was he there then? Who was our centre halves then? God, it's so bad how quickly you forget, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe Zuma was there, but we said Ogbonna. Dawson was there.
He was after. I'm thinking the Lingard COVID era. God, it's bad. But Ogbonna was definitely there. You had Cresswell. We had defenders that could defend, ultimately. I think Fredericks was there as well at the time, and he was one of them.
My memory's terrible.
But memory, short-term memory is terrible. So apologies for that. But he had defenders that could defend. Souček was at the top of his game. Soufal was at the top of his game for West Ham. So they were then, we had players here. What we got now is players that cannot defend. Now, I'll give him his due, because I think he was man of the match on Saturday. Mavropanos, I thought, was excellent in his game Saturday. Thought he was brilliant. Diouf, to me, is an absolute liability at left back. And a lot of West Ham fans hate me saying that. The same, I will just remind you, that I said about Diop. He was one of the centre-halves. Diop, Aguerd, Kerrer and Todibo. And some of the West Ham fans would still tell me Aguerd and Kerrer are fantastic. I will argue, and I know Aguerd's playing in the Champions League now for Marseille. I will argue European football suits his game better, because he did not do it in the Premier League, did he? He was awful.
No, he wouldn't.
I don't actually think he ever showed that he was a good player, did he? Really. Some West Ham fans seem to think he was.
No, he had a few games where he done all right, but ultimately he was at fault for so many goals. I can remember watching crosses go in where he gets out muscled. He's just not strong enough in the air. He ultimately wasn't good in the cut out for the Premier League. So, but yeah, I can see how he can be a good player in Europe and the different leagues across Europe. He'd probably be quite effective, but he wasn't for us. And and go back to Diop. As much as I like him, and I really like sort of his character, and you could see that he's got what it takes, but defensively he is a bit of a liability, and that will need to improve if he's gonna really make it.
And ultimately, since he left us, he never has. I don't think he even starts for Fulham anymore, does he?
Sorry, did I say Diop? I was on about Diouf for us.
Oh, sorry. Diouf, yeah.
Yeah, Diouf for us, sorry. Yeah, just his defending. It needs... Because it's funny, because I watched the game, Senegal against England, and I'm sure it was Saka who played in that game. I can't remember exactly, but he was superb defensively.
So he has got it in him?
Yeah, and I
He
think
gets caught the wrong side. Look, the penalty for me was never a penalty. It was well outside the box, right? But this new rule, apparently, if it starts there, goes in there, like that's just, I agree it wasn't a penalty, but it was a foul. He's got the wrong side of the. It's like it was so basic.
Yeah, it's just so.
And it was so many times that he got caught. Now, I can't blame the manager for them sorts of things because the manager has set up a team to be more defensive, and then it's individual errors every single time. The goalkeeper, Areola, the distribution is horrific, like absolutely horrific.
Drives me
We
mad.
bought a goalkeeper to counteract that problem. That goal, because we don't play out from the back now. The goalkeeper's useless within 3 games or whatever it is. So there's deeper problems, and I know that's what Claret and Booze was going on about, and I know that's what I was going on about with we needed to get a setup of us, because if Nuno doesn't work, what is it next? We've gone from David Moyes' defensive football, counter-attacking, to Lopetegui, we don't really know what it was, to Graham Potter possession-based football, to Nuno, all with all different players. And we're going to let, maybe the manager's going to go and spend a load of money in January, if there is any, on a panic, because I think that's what it will be. Because I do not think, other than Wolves, there is a worse team than us in the league. And that's my worry. The Arsenal game, I know people said it was a free hit for the manager, and this is why a lot of people didn't want to come in for it and things like that, because you get criticism. I'm not criticising the manager. I just don't think we're very good. And that's the sad bit. The midfield, to me, is poor. I know a lot of people think Fernandes is a good player. I've yet to see anything other than 20 minutes against Forest, maybe, that he was all right. I'm going to use the word a coward on the ball, but maybe that's because of the way that the team's set up, so I don't know. Like, it's safe, 1 yard, 3 yards, sidewards, backwards. And maybe that's what the manager's asked for him, so you can't blame until you actually know, but screw what the manager says. I can do something. Manager told me to be like past 1 yard. I'd say bollocks and do what I've got to do. But it seems, I think that is a problem with younger kids now. They're coached to death. And there is, did you see Jack Grealish this week? Going on to another thing.
No, I missed it.
His interview.
No, I missed it. It
was a clear dig at Pep Guardiola, but he was trying to be respectful, and he didn't mean it in a horrible way. But they said, like, how are you finding it at Everton? He said, you know what? He said, like, I've played in teams, and he wouldn't say Man City, but he obviously meant where I was told, when I get here, check back, pass it that way. When I get there, check back, pass it 1 yard. And he said, here I'm told I've got responsibilities, but he said, the manager's told me, like, when you get there, you know what to do. He said, that's what you're good at. And he said, the manager said, you know better than me what to do there. You make it up. And he said, and I really, really love having that responsibility. He said, yes, I've got responsibilities at corners, when we haven't got the ball, that sort of stuff. He said, I've got responsibilities. He said, but that's where I'm good. But I think it's being coached out of players now. And maybe that is a thing with Magassa and Fernandes, but they look like two poor players. Yeah, not poor players, but they just don't look anything.
Just nothing special. I mean, I didn't see. I was going to ask you actually how Magassa played first half, but I was like, as you know, I was quite excited when we signed Fernandes, because I've kind of seen what he can do, but he hasn't really shown any of that so far for West Ham, and we really need him to, because as we know, our midfield is, he's been weak for quite a while now, and he's meant to have come in to help sort it out, and he's not. Apart from a bit more legs, he's like James Ward-Prowse, really. Has
he done more than James Ward-Prowse, who's been completely bombed? I will not be surprised next game Souček starts in that midfield. And that is funny with West Ham fans. Like, what I noticed this pattern of, we get a new player, And they're the best thing ever, right? And I've got to call us out on this because it happens time and time again. No, you got to play him, he's the best. They don't deliver whatsoever. Like, we still hear it with Guilherme, right? No, he needs time, right? This guy has shown me, in 3 minutes, he showed me that he is not a good player. And, yeah, you can't just write people off, of course, but you see something in them. And when you see nothing, you go, they're probably not that good. And yet, someone like Souček, who would die for West Ham, puts his head everywhere, runs his heart out. You have a West Ham fan base that go, get this guy out of here, get it. And that really does puzzle me. And that is where our fan base is divided, without a doubt. And I've said we are part of the problem, me included. But there was a lot of worrying signs. People will say, well, it's against Arsenal. What do you expect? And I completely agree with them. Magassa and Fernandes was never going to overrun Rice and Zubamendi, right? So, yes, I completely agree. But we just had nothing about us. Palace, last week, beat Liverpool. Palace are not a better team than Liverpool. They've not got better players. They went and had a go. They were strong, they're tight. Yes, their managers had a long time with them now, or a longer time. So we can't say I'm not having a dig at the manager here. I like the manager. But I do think the wheels will come off with this manager very soon if he's not getting results and it's this boring brand of football again. Because people, I don't know, they're sick of it already. And we were sick of it 2 years ago. Just gone back to it. It's like, I don't understand what we've done in the last 2 years. We've actually made the squad more muddled for someone like him.
Well, I mean, it all goes back to the same old problem of the people running the football club, doesn't it? So we was only ever going to get a manager who's out of work. So for the managers that were out of work, Nuno
ticked everybody. Was the best available
as the best we could get. So that's what we've got to think about. People saying that we've gone back to the same David Moyes type manager. We're only going to get a manager who's out of work, so we're not going to get a great manager. So really, in that situation, we're lucky to get a manager of Nuno's calibre.
And then it goes back to look at Spurs.
Yeah, but apart from Spurs though, and he wasn't there very long. His record.
Thomas Frank.
Sorry, what do you mean?
Thomas Frank going and getting a manager. Look at Spurs.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, well, exactly. And that's what we needed to do, but we was never going to do that. And we know we're never going to do that. So Nuno is sort of the best of the, not bad
no,
bunch,
yeah, without
he's
a doubt.
the best. He's the best we could get. So I'm like in that situation. He's not necessarily the manager I would have wanted to bring in, but I'm really pleased that we've got him. And I think his style of play in the situation that we're in, because like you say, we're not a very good team. I think his style of play, like we saw it in the Everton game, where I feel we deserve to win that. I feel, and this is always going to depend on whether Bowen's fit and Somerville are fit. We will have enough if they're fit with the team we've got, but we get injuries to either of them. Well, if we get injuries to Bowen, we're in massive, massive trouble because we're not going to score goals. We're not going to score enough goals.
No.
So, I'm pleased with Nuno and what I've seen. And like you said, what we've seen so far, I think he's been quite impressive. Obviously, that Arsenal game, I saw the second half of it, and I actually thought, the shape was good. We looked organised. We had showed a bit more energy than what we showed under Potter, but we didn't. There was nothing in the final third, was there? There was no cutting.
Well, it was one of the most boring games you'd ever watched.
Yeah, it was such a poor game. But I did think I weren't that impressed with Arsenal. I was just thinking, if we had anything about us, we could have nicked something out of that game.
I agree.
But
I do think Arsenal just never had to get out of second gear.
Yeah, they didn't. Deck
run the game with a bit of energy in there. He was fantastic. Again, the West Ham fans booing him
And you could see he's starting to turn now because, he loves.
If I was him, I'd celebrate. I don't know why players don't celebrate against their old teams. I hate that actually. If I was him, I'd celebrate because I find it the planks that. I can do it. Do you know? I could almost get it with him within jest. But he gave a man that gave everything to us and 100 million. That is pathetic. I really
mean, fans
do find
are
it pathetic.
Fans are entitled to express how they want, but I just don't get it with Deck because he was unbelievable for us. And like,
Never down tools.
Do our fans really think he's going to... Just imagine he'd stayed with us. Look at us. Like, deserves to go on and play for a top team because he's an unbelievable talent. Like, scrumming around the bottom of the league with West Ham out of loyalty, he's just crazy.
Yeah, that's silly. I say, he gave us 100 million as a parting gift. Like, that's not a bad...
105.
Yeah, like, that's not a bad parting gift to the team that paid nothing for you. Yeah, I don't want to go on here. It annoys me when I hear it. It makes us look stupid, I think, because other fans go, why on earth the West Ham, and the pundits say, why do West Ham fans boo him? I understand booing someone who down tools and left, like Aguerd, someone like that. Like, I understand that.
I think the main thing is that they're saying that he was obviously talking behind, while we was in a relegation battle, he was talking to Arsenal about leaving before.
But he also went and won us a trophy in that last year.
That is how all transfers are done now. Do you know what I mean?
What do they think? People go, no, I'll wait till the end of the season here, mate. No. That's what I mean. People need to get a bit real. But yeah, so that was the Arsenal game. Let us know what you think below. And if you disagree with us, bollocks to you. But yeah, no, we're going to keep an eye out. We're going to do a bit more, a couple of videos now for the rest of the week. So it's International Week, obviously. And then remember also, Julian Dicks shirt still to win by the end of this month. I'm going to pick a winner. All you got to do is hit subscribe and subscribe to the Instagram page. But keep your ideas coming in. If you want to come on the show, let me know as well. Gary's not with us this week because he's had a hernia op. Sent us an horrible picture of his fat stomach earlier, didn't he?
Yeah, cheers, Gal.
He didn't get the abs that he wanted anyway. But he was in a bit of pain today, so he's not on. I hope it's not a sex change he's had, that's all. Anyway, we will see you all later. Come on, you irons.